Hi everybody, Cindy Darnell here. Today I'm going to talk to you about disclosing our sexual pasts to new and current partners. The first thing about this is that when we want to disclose information about our past to sexual partners, we need to stop and think about what's the intention behind this, because sometimes we're led to believe that disclosing information about our past is designed to bring us together and designed to connect us, but something that is as heavily stigmatized and misunderstood as sex and pleasure can sometimes drive people further apart, even though the intention is often to connect in the first place. So when a partner asks us for, TMI, it could be because they're curious, and it could also be because they're anxious. And if they don't have the resources to manage the information that we share with them, it could set them off on a spiral of shame. They could feel triggered, they could feel anxious, and sometimes it can make things worse for us in the long term. So before we decide, first of all, to ask a partner about their sexual history, we need to ask ourselves, what's the intention? What do we hope to achieve by doing this? What do we hope will happen if we get the information that we're seeking? And is it a question of actually, do we want that information? Or do we just want our partner to know that we're curious about that part of their life? Maybe it means that we're actually interested in what they like. Maybe it means we want to know, do we measure up? Do they actually like us? Do they enjoy the sex that they're having with us, rather than comparing us to partners from the past? So this is one thing that's especially important to think about before we start digging around in our partner's past. Also, are we able to manage the information? Are we able to, if they tell us something that we don't like, how are we going to handle it? Do we have an action plan for how we're going to manage the information if it's something that we don't want to hear, that we don't like, that makes us feel shitty about ourselves? We can't turn around then and dump it back on our partners, especially if we ask them. So we need to be prepared for the answer. We need to be prepared for the truth, whether we can handle it or not, which makes me think of, you can't handle the truth. I mean, maybe you can, I don't know. Sometimes I can't even handle the truth. So there's nothing wrong with acknowledging also, if you can't handle the truth, if you think that it's going to hurt you and send you in a spiral and make you feel worse and maybe make you feel disconnected from your partner, going back to the original intention is, why are we doing this? Why do you want to know? It can be a really useful thing to avoid some sort of discomfort and some sort of conflict. So by weighing up the pros and cons, it's useful then to consider as a couple, how well do you communicate generally? Is this going to enhance the erotic connection in your relationship, or is there a chance that it will actually split you further apart? Sometimes with these things you can't tell until you're in it, up to here, and then it's a bit too late. You can't undo what's been done. So I just wanted to give you some tips about how to think this through before you decide whether or not you're going to disclose, your number to your partner. And even this is the thing about disclosing your number. For people who don't know what I'm talking about, to share your number means the number of people that you've had sex with. Generally speaking, your number, tends to have a lot more weight and stigma for women than it does for anybody else. For some reason, a woman with a high number is, you can imagine, dirty, slutty, filthy, all of these things, not to be trusted. It could also mean a woman with a high number is just very curious and experimental. I'll leave you to decide which one you think I think. But I want to invite you not to do what I think, but to do what you think. So bear in mind that things like numbers really are very heavily steeped in social stigma and shame and messaging that's really quite outdated, unhelpful, and quite frankly, really sexist and serves nobody. So asking about numbers, again, what's the purpose? What are you hoping to achieve? A better question could be, how can I touch you in a way that brings you more pleasure? Or are you enjoying the kind of sex we're having? Could we do something differently to bring you more pleasure if there's something that I'm not doing that you would prefer I did. So sharing your sexual history with a partner is a great way to get closer and share secrets and share a little bit of information, but really pay attention to what your intention is. What is the purpose of sharing? Is there another way that you can enhance the connection? And in the event that you hear something that you can't unhear, work out between you in advance, how are you going to prepare yourselves in the event you hear something that you wished you hadn't heard? What are you going to do? What's your action plan going to be here? Your options are to work through it together, to find some people in your community who can help you work through it together, or to come and see a professional. Come and see somebody like me, or somebody perhaps near you if you prefer face-to-face. I'm available online. But whatever you do, make sure that you have enough resources around you from community, friends, family maybe if it feels appropriate, but a lot of folks don't like discussing stuff like this with their immediate family. But you do need to be able to talk about it, and talk about it in ways that are useful, not in ways that are going to re-emphasize stigma, re-emphasize problems, and sort of put you right back to where you started. I hope that helps. Have a great day.